Welcome to another math video. Today, we're going to be looking at some word problems. So we're solving systems of equations using elimination. But the little twist here is that we're going to talk about word problems. Now, when you're dealing with word problems, you have to be able to create your own equations based off of the information that's given you. And because we don't have to graph, we don't have to use x and y as our variables. So this gives us a lot of freedom to choose whatever variable makes the most sense in our minds. So let's kind of just go through this here for a second. When I got 4 chocolate bars and 3 ice cream cones cost $5.30. 2 chocolate bars and 1 ice cream cone cost $2.20. Find the cost of a chocolate bar and the cost of an ice cream cone. Well, I don't know about you, but the variables that stick out in my mind the most are C and I. So what we're going to do is we're going to say C is the number of chocolate bars, and we're going to set I equal to the number of ice cream cones. Perfect. So now that we've kind of defined some information, now that we've defined a little bit of information, what we can do is we can go ahead and develop our two equations. This one's pretty easy. So we say 4 chocolate bars. Okay, so 4C and 3 ice cream cones plus 3I cost $5.30 equals $5.30. 2 chocolate bars and 1 ice cream cone. So 2 chocolate bars plus 1 ice cream cone costs $2.20. Now we're running into the same problem that we had in the last math video. In order to solve systems of equations using elimination, the variables have to have, one of the variables has to have the same coefficient in either, in the first and the second equation. So we're looking at either the C's having the same variable, which they don't, or the I's having the same variable, which they don't. So what we're going to do, it doesn't really matter. It's going to work out the exact same way in the end. We can either multiply the bottom equation by 2 so that we're matching the C's together so that the C's have the same coefficient. Or what we can do is multiply the bottom equation by 3 so that the I's have the same coefficient. Let's just, because this is what we're doing right now, why don't we just multiply the bottom equation by 3. So we'll see what we get. So we're not changing the top equation, but we are changing the bottom equation. So 3 times 2 is 6C, 3 times 1 is 3I, and then 3 times 220 is $6.60. So now that we have our I's, they have the same coefficient, we can add or subtract. And because they have the same signs, if we were to add them, we would go 3 plus 3. Well, that's not going to eliminate a variable. So what we have to do is we have to subtract them. All right, no problem. We will subtract one equation from the other. 4 minus 6 is negative 2C. 3 minus 3 is 0 equals 530 minus 660 is $1.30 negative. All right, well, hopefully this seems pretty straightforward. If we were to divide negative 2C by negative 2 and divide this by negative 2, we would end up with C equals 0.65. We're kind of saying that a chocolate bar is costing us 65 cents. Perfect, no problem. So we've settled that much at least. Just going to move up here. Now that we have the price of a chocolate bar, we'll take that information and we'll plug it back into one of our first equations. So We'll plug it back into, doesn't really matter to me, but I'm going to use the top equation, whatever, it's all good. For C is our 0.65. So 0.65 plus 3i equals 530. 4 times 0.65 is 260 plus 3i equals 530. If I subtract 260 from both sides, I'm left with 3i on this side. And I have $2.70 on the other side, 270. And then if I divide both sides by 3, divide the side by 3, divide that side by 3, we get I equals 0.90. Or an ice cream cone costs us 90 cents, basically. All right. We always really want to check our information just to make sure that we haven't really mucked anything up, that we haven't kind of made a mistake somewhere along the lines. So we just used the top equation. So now we're going to use the bottom equation. We're going to use this equation for checking. 2c, which is 0.65, plus I, which is 0.90. Hopefully that adds up to 220. 2 times 0.65 is 1.30 plus 0.90, 220. So yes, $2.20 is equal to $2.20. Boom, love it. The last thing we're going to do is we're actually going to answer the question. What was the question? Find the cost of a chocolate bar and the cost of an ice cream cone. So when we go down here, we actually have to physically answer the question. The chocolate bars cost 65 cents each, and ice cream cones, oh man, brutal. Ice cream cones cost 90 cents each. Perfect. We are done.